Hey, it's Jordan. This story is going to be about the time I packed my life up into a car and moved across the country. The reason I share my personal stories is because we all can relate to the hero's journey. And talking with people, I've noticed a lot of people have problems or they struggle with moving into the unknown. Just throwing yourself out into the world can be daunting, but it is a very natural part of the hero's journey. When you get the call, you want to go out into a new place, leave your hometown, and go on the grand adventure that is life. So this is just a reflection of my story, what themes you might encounter when you throw yourself out there. So at this time I was 24 years old, living in the Midwest, and I wanted to move somewhere else. At the time I was working building houses, and I was selling espresso machines online, doing something called drop shipping. Mosquito. Something called drop shipping, where I was just selling espresso machines online, taking a cut from the sales. And so I was actually looking at going to Thailand or Colorado. Weed was just legalized, and I wanted to see what it would be like to live somewhere where it was legalized for the first time. So I ended up picking Colorado. And for about 6 months, I was working, selling espresso machines, building houses, and I saved up about $5,000. I think I had $5,000 in the bank. And I bought my sister's old Honda Civic, an 03 Honda Civic stick shift manual. That was my car. And so I worked for 6 months. It was now probably like June, and I was ready to go. I was like, I had enough. I've only lived in the Midwest, bopped around it from Chicago, Iowa City, Quad Cities, different spots. I wanted to see what it was like to live in Colorado. The mountains were calling. So I can remember that day just feeling so nervous and excited about what it would be like to go to a whole new city. And I knew maybe one or two people there, like more friends, acquaintance types. But that was really it. I had no job there. I had no place to live. All I had was my car, a tent, packed up clothes, and that was all I had. I was just trusting that the universe would supply me with what I needed. So first day I woke up at 4 in the morning. It's gonna take 12, 14 hours, somewhere around there, to get across the country. I can remember arriving at Colorado in the middle of rush hour, just super excited. And first place I went to was a weed shop. I bought a couple eighths at the weed store, and now the sun was starting to set, and I headed towards the mountains. And what is so crazy is how you'll find the perfect places. You'll just be led. If you follow your intuition, you'll just be guided to all these different awesome places. So the first night, I tried to find this place again, and I never could find it. But somehow I found the perfect path, this dirt road leading up a mountain that my Honda Civic could make it. It was pushing the limits of what this little Civic could do. But I made it up to this mountain, found this perfect overlook overlooking the Rockies, set up my tent, and started rolling a couple doobies. Smoked my joints. I had some food, I forget what, probably just some snacks, beef jerky, whatever. And it was awesome. Watched the sunset, went to bed, and then around midnight, 1 in the morning, woke up with this pounding headache. I was not used to elevation, and I was sleeping on a mountain. So I was not acclimated to this type of environment. Smoked some more weed. I didn't know anything about breath work. If you ever feel the effects of elevation, all you gotta do is some breath work for 20-30 minutes and your body floods with oxygen and it helps with everything. Didn't know that back then. Didn't know a lot of things back then. But this is how we learn. We just throw ourselves into the unknown. And so for about a month, I didn't realize how big Colorado actually was looking at the map. But for about a month, I traveled all around Colorado. Went from Silverthorne to Aspen, did the Conundrum Creek hike with some natural hot springs. Just did a bunch of cool stuff, camping. One night I was camping and this guy that looked like a bear stopped me as I was unloading my stuff, and he's like, you know, there's bears here, so don't have any food in your campsite. And I was like, check. And then that morning at 4 in the morning, as the sun was starting to rise, I heard the bear, this little black bear, shaking the ground as he was walking. Woke me up. All I could think to do was grab my little pocket knife, and I just stood there, got out of the tent, stood there, and watched this bear lumber on by as he was heading to bed, I'm assuming. So, pretty exciting morning. So eventually I was like, all right, I like Colorado. This is awesome. I want to stay here. So I moved into the Denver area, more like Boulder, Denver. Tried camping in Boulder. Had the cops wake me up, tell me I can't camp in Boulder, but they let me go. Tried camping in the Walmart parking lots in Lafayette. Again, cops woke me up, told me I can't camp here. You can't sleep in your car. It's like, all right, I didn't know what to do, so I went to the other Walmart somewhere else, camped there, no problem. So I was thinking, I gotta get a job. Gotta get a job, gotta get a place to stay. So I started applying for different jobs, and lo and behold, I got a job pretty soon. So I'd apply for jobs, I'd found this gym, I'd work out, shower, and then go camp somewhere. And then this was my routine. And eventually, somehow I found the only white landscaping company in Colorado. The whole time I lived there for 8 years, never saw another white landscaping company, but they all are Mexicans. No shade or anything, it's just what it is. And I don't speak Spanish, so. But anyways, I found this landscaping company, started working there. So I'd wake up, work all day, go to the gym, hit a workout, shower, find somewhere to sleep. And then I was at a job picnic, did this for a few weeks, and I started applying for places on Craigslist. Started, looking for places, and I was at this company picnic, and I got a phone call. This guy said, hey, we got a room available, are you interested? It's like, yeah, where is it? And it was 3 blocks away from where I was. I was like, hey, I'm there right now. I can come meet you right now. He's like, cool, see you. Got the address, went to the place. awesome house overlooking the mountains, right next to a giant park, so I could go running and exploring in the park, and it was awesome. And the guy sits me down, he's like, "Oh, you have a job already? Cool. I guess, yeah, you got the first month's rent. That's cool. By the way, we have a weed lab in the basement, and if you help out, you don't have to pay rent." I was like, that's exactly why I moved out here. I wanted to get into the legalized weed scene, check it out. So this is just one example of how when you throw yourself out there, do the work, the universe will bless you with incredible opportunities. So here I was, all the weed I could smoke, free rent, and I had a day job. So things were running along smoothly. My landing was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I mean, from there, obviously things evolved. Eventually I learned all about meditation, and I started training jiu-jitsu again. Learned all these things. Yoga, started teaching yoga, teaching jiu-jitsu, all the different, I guess, yeah, the story I could just keep talking forever. But I just wanted to leave you with that you can trust when you are going for your dream. Even though it might be a little rocky, it might be a little frustrating at first, in my experience, when you throw yourself out there, the universe will reward you. Fortune favors the bold. And who knows, you might end up with a free place to live with all the weed you can smoke. Or whatever your dream was. At that time, that was my ultimate dream, and it was awesome. I guess I should go into the practical aspects of when you move somewhere. The first 6 months to a year, you're probably gonna be alone most of the time. For me, at least. Like I said, I had 1 or 2 friends there. Didn't know anybody. So I made friends with the people I was working with, whatever. But really, when you move to a new place, get involved in some clubs or some groups so you can meet like-minded people, whatever it is, whether you want to pursue yoga. Jiu-jitsu was huge. Finding a jiu-jitsu community those were my best friends still this day. Love the jiu-jitsu community, the people I met there. You can join dancing. There was Zouk in Denver. Eventually I became a street artist in Denver, made friends with the street artists. Like, you can't just work your job, go to the gym, go home. You're not gonna have friends and you're not gonna meet people. But if you put yourself out there and again, and join different communities, different groups, you'll start meeting people, and eventually you won't be this lonely, isolated person. And if you move somewhere like Colorado, for example, people come from all over the world, so you're gonna meet other people that are just moving and just learning, getting their feet on the ground, or whatever I'm trying to say. You'll meet other people that just moved there too, and they want friends. So that's my story about moving across the country all alone, not knowing anybody, no job, no place to live, and it unfolded pretty organically, pretty naturally over a couple months, and yeah, plenty of adventures were had in the beautiful Rocky Mountains. But with that, I will leave you. Have a great day. Ciao.